this is Toilageddon Day. It's 2 days rolled into one because we were only out for about 3 hours, maybe 4 hours on the second last full day we had in Chengdu, because my stomach imploded or exploded, which was not nice. So again, I've kept it as brief as I can and as much, just let the video run as much. I've always said these are trial and error, and I'm going to be recording slightly differently from what I did before and doing the videos more the style the last couple have been, because I think definitely work better. So I hope, again, as usual, you get something out of it if you're thinking of going to China or you're just vaguely interested in what happens over there. Yeah, so enjoy. So the area Chengdu that we're going to, again, we've been earlier on in the trip, is a 55-minute-hour taxi journey, which costs about £4, if that. And these are the high-rise buildings in Chengdu, which it's just endless. It's unbelievably endless. And yeah, comfortable taxi ride as ever. Just thought we'd show what goes on. And another little artisan coffee place, which China is full of. That was such a cool handle. It's off a coffee machine on both sides, and the coffee was delicious. Can't remember what the specs were in the coffee, because at this point my arse decided to just not play fair, and I experienced a squat toilet with white Adidas trainers on and the fear that I'd not hit the toilet. So the beer was actually not mine. The food, that is shaved pig's ear with chili. That is a beef stew, and these were potatoes, actually. I tried none of it, so we gave up, and I went back to the hotel to basically sleep for the next 14-15 hours. Horrendous, just awful. Every worst experience that you could have, exorcist in both ends at the same time, just not pleasant. The more I think about it, the more it must have been food poisoning. I'm unsure though, because my wife had been really ill and coughing everywhere like Coughing Joe, and it could have been something else, but this was my life. Then I woke up to find that the boys had done us proud, and we had not pumped, but pumped Denmark to get to the World Cup final for the first time in decades, which is very, very exciting. I did think I died because of this man, because when you wake up and find out that he scored from the halfway line and he's not our most talented player, I had to question whether I was actually alive or not. But happy days I was, and the day was good. So we did some souvenir shopping. So many pandas, so little time. After the souvenir shopping, we thought, we'll go and see what else this has got to offer. So we went back to the shopping district that we'd been in before, where Adidas was. And in fact, we went back to one of our favourite haunts after we'd refueled. And I think it's Burger Shack. My wife says that these chips are the best chips she's ever had. And as you can see, that is one happy woman. The beer was delicious, although I believe I was on a Coke at that point, as in Coca-Cola. Amazing place. I know these are all over the place. We'd never been to one before, but absolutely fantastic. And this chap always makes you smile. So much so, I stuck him on an Adidas t-shirt, and I got my Italian top, which I spoke about in the last video. Slightly distressing. And then back to Ralph's bar. This was just a lovely spot. Absolutely beautiful inside, and nice sitting area on the outside of it. Just a bit different. And I know it's not very Chinese, but I had a whiskey and I had a mulled wine because I felt like rubbish. Don't judge me. And my wife had a cocktail as ever. So after we wandered around for a while, we thought we'll go back to the room, we'll have a nap, we'll regroup, and then we will go out and have a look. The Scottish bar that we went to, the boys there had suggested there was a Mediterranean restaurant a 10-minute walk from where the hotel was along the riverbank. So it really was a 5-minute walk from the hotel, and as it's our last night, this always happens. You find places that you wish you'd seen earlier on. The restaurant was amazing, and I know that people will question why you're going to a Mediterranean restaurant in China. Well, firstly, because they sell my favourite beer. This is my favourite Spanish beer, and it travels so well, and it's gorgeous. And secondly, because I hadn't had a drink all day, and I wanted something a little bit closer to home. My wife really struggles with the food in China, and this is why we went there. And the pasta was nice, and my moussaka was delicious. And if you don't struggle with food like I don't think you realise how difficult it is when you go to these places. So that's why we went, and we've got no shame about it, and we're glad we did, and it was a beautiful spot. And then on the way back, halfway, so 5 minutes from the hotel, we found this. An old fashioned for myself, which is now my go-to cocktail. And my wife had a delicious cocktail herself. And then this. Which led to some more drinks because now we're in the mood, and my stomach isn't quite as bad. And then I went on Macallan because they had it, and it would be rude not to. And that's where the footage stopped for the night. So it was our last full day in Chengdu. And what did we think of it? I think we both think we didn't give it the chance that it really deserved because we both had been so unwell. I think we probably shouldn't have gone to China. We should have cancelled it before we went. But as we left Chengdu and went to Chongqing, we both kind of clicked back into normal mode, if you know what I mean. And it's a real shame because Chengdu was a beautiful city with a lot going on in it. We explored what we could explore, and we liked everything we saw. We just couldn't really appreciate it, if that makes sense. There's a lot of really positive things about Chengdu and Chongqing, I'll add. And I think it shows how far China is coming. And it also shows you the nonsense that we are fed back in the West about China. The Chinese people have got a lot more freedom than we regard them to have. And as a society, they're a lot more understanding and a lot more free thinking than we're told to understand. And I think Chengdu in particular is a really good example of that because it has quite a large gay community and they're quite open, which I think for a forward moving country is important. But of course here we're told that the Chinese are, they're against this and they're against that, and you can't do this, you can't do that, you'll be arrested for this and arrested for that. You go there and it's not what you see, and yet there are other aspects of what you would expect. So coming back that night, well, in that day for instance, we saw dead turtles being sold, giant turtles outside the monastery, which was shocking because we're not used to seeing that. And it was a poor farmer, and it was shocking to see it. And the Chinese eat turtle, and they're quite happy to eat turtle, and they weren't disgusted by it. But as Westerners who don't see that every day, we were a bit taken back by it. And then coming back that night when we walked back along the waterfront, there were vans pulling up, and they had little dogs in cages and cats in cages, and they were selling them. And again, 30, 40 years ago, you could walk into a pet, probably less, you could walk into a pet shop and buy a cat or a dog in a cage. Is there any difference in that? It makes us feel uncomfortable because we are 30, 40 years further than the line. It's a really interesting country, and you need to go to see it to understand it. The Chinese government did not indoctrinate me. They're not paying me to say this. I'm not linked to any political party that's pro-China. I take things as I find them, and the people are lovely. And you'll see this with Chongqing as well. People are just so sound, and we've got this preconception that isn't true. So I hope you're getting something out of these videos. I'm going to keep bringing the rest of the videos from the holiday up. That was the third city that we'd visited, and all three cities to this point have just been absolutely stunning. Fourth if you include Hong Kong, which you can't really include, but you should because it is a Chinese city. So I hope you got something out of it. Next video will be going from Chengdu to Chongqing, and I'm really excited about that because Chongqing was, without blowing the whole series, Chongqing is my favourite city in the world now. It's stunning, and the people again, just spectacular. So thanks very much. Have a great day. Have a great evening. Peace out.